Yeah, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we're gonna continue our kite park progression series where I break down all the fundamentals that you need to know if you want to enjoy watching kite park or if it was something you were interested in getting in. So our last video we broke down all the basics for your first hit on a rail, and today we're gonna talk about what could be your first or second trick that you do while grinding a feature, and that is the backside board slide. Alright, so for this one, you could just call it a board slide. Some people would say backboard, or some people might say backside board slide. But what this is when you bring your board perpendicular to the rail and you're sliding forward facing the direction that you're traveling. So it's a bit confusing because the front board is where you're actually sliding backwards. But for a backside board slide, you're sliding forward with your back facing the rail. So just to recap some key fundamentals: unhook with a mild edge, a good ways upwind of the feature, make sure you spray down the feature, do all the things we covered in that first video, and then whether you're ollieing or hitting the safety, you just want to make sure you have a clean transition. So very deliberately ollie or jump off of the safety and don't zeech the board. And what I mean by zeech is when you land on the board and then you turn your board while you're on. So for example, if you spin on a rail while your board's touching the rail, that's considered zeeching. So in kite park, one of the goals is clean, tight riding. So when you come up in the air, you transition and then land in that board slide. So for the board slide, just like before, you need to be going fast enough to catch up with your kite so that you're not getting pulled across the rail. Make sure you keep your eyes on the end of the rail because the body will follow the head. So if you look to the left or the right, you're gonna come off that rail early. So eyes on the end of the rail and you should complete the rail. And good form is to keep that bar close to your lead hip. So you wanna get that bar low and close. The lower and the closer, the better, and the easier it will be to spin off the rail later on. Now, just like before with all things kite park, it's better to keep the kite lower than higher. And sometimes it feels a little safer if you bring the kite up and keep it high, but it's better practice to keep the kite low because that way you're catching up to the kite. And you need to match the speed of your kite. So when it's high, it's a little bit awkward and pretty impossible to spin later on. So get it low and you'll notice that it's easier, and it's easier on the body because when the kite's low and you're sliding, you're actually sliding towards the kite, kind of slacking a little bit, so the kite's not pulling you that much. And that's pretty much it. So if you need more details, go back and watch our beginner video on your first hit on a rail. But this could be the first or second trick that you do attempt. So give this one a go, and then later on you can think about combos. So for example, you could do a 50-50 like we covered, and then between two rails, so you can see on this one I'm hitting the cabrina rail and then we're gapping to a corrugated. It's best to transition between two rails, so you could do a 50-50 to a board slide between the rails, or you could do a board slide to a 50-50 between the two rails. Your call. You can do it on one very long rail as well. So good places to do a transition is when there's maybe like a change in the incline. So if the rail's going up and then has a sharper, more angular turn, whether it's going up or down, you could do that in transition, or simply just jump and do the transition. But what you don't want to do is zeech and just slide on the rail. And of course, while you're learning, zeeching's okay in my opinion. Obviously it's not the goal, but if you need to zeech into a board slide to learn how to do a board slide, that's perfectly fine. Don't stress it. Just work on getting cleaner and tighter and completing the rail with 90-degree angles. So if you guys got any questions of this one, let me know, drop them in the comments. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. I'll catch you later.